I didn't say.
Okay.
I was there. Yeah.
All right. So installment number 4. I'm joined by Kathy. And so Kathy's gonna tonight show the past life 5, the star reading. And then any other questions? And yes, nobody's joined on Zoom yet. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out. Funny, we start recording, everybody's super quiet.
I'm just going.
Oh, and we have somebody. Okay, so should I sit down? We have. I can't keep track. Where are my eyeballs now?
Did you leave them? Did you leave them out?
Okay. All right. We have somebody joining. And you do not have to start a video, it's okay. And but anytime that you have a question, just push the raise hand button. And then if there's something you want to chime in or share, yeah, just do that, because otherwise I won't see that you have a question. But I'll keep checking periodically to see if you have anything that you want to share or anything you want to ask. Okay. All right. Yay. I did. They're here somewhere. Yeah.
Well, that's usually where mine
I
is.
know. No, they're not in my skull. Okay. All right. So this is. Oh yeah, I didn't get part. Do we want to do just a real quick meet and greet, because we have
Yes,
some
'cause we have new
new
people.
faces.
We've been telling everybody. Just
Oh,
me, you, us. Just love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I can tell
I've
because
only
she can come
been to
back.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
can't.
we did- Obviously, we hear you.
And
we
got yeah.
Miss Shay to come with us
Daughter.
too. So
Again, with the running for governor and talking about kidnapping somebody. Okay, just saying. I'm not running.
you'll run if there's a bear.
I didn't say that's running up from.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Haley.
Oh, yeah.
And
Awesome.
my
Thank you
daughter
for
ran.
volunteering to go first.
I just figured.
I forgot what we're doing, so. Okay.
My bean.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
This bean have a name.
So.
Brett. Although you could call it bean, but she might like it might be offensive if I call it bean. She don't know. Nice to meet you, bean.
I mean. I'm Rachel. And you know me, Mary.
I'm Shaylin. Maddie's my daughter.
There you go.
No.
I mean,
I'm Emily.
And I'm Kathy.
Yay. Okay. So this part is.
So last week, you guys wanted to experience a past life reading, and one of the past life readings that I do, I get psychic nurse because it's short and it gives a lot of information, is what past life is impacting me the most in this lifetime. And when I say that, it doesn't mean it's one life, because generally, if it's a big theme and you really recognize it's yours, it's probably gone through a lot of lifetimes. And we learn that by seeing what they say the outcome card is. So what we're going to do is, who wants to be first? Your chair over here.
I thought you guys were like, arm
This is what happened when we just fight. So I shuffle this way because I have never like heard you may shuffle any way you want. But basically just repeat in your head, show me lifetime I need to see. And when you're done, just simply cut it anywhere, it doesn't matter where. And whatever you pick up the top, put on the bottom.
Okay.
And then you give it.
That's way too much.
I will repeat that. You know how many times if I had a nickel for every time somebody said that, and if I had a nickel for every time I went out and bought a small deck and nobody chose it, well, let's just say you will deal with it.
Literally.
So this is the life.
Yeah.
This is how it may be affecting you and impacting you in this life. This is where your strengths, the strengths that you brought in from that lifetime. This is the fears you may or may not be aware of. And this is how to integrate past life with what's going on now.
Ready.
Okay, so this is the past life. So don't say it's a new thing for you to be a farmer because you've always been so you have always been growing things. You have always, that's what's always meant the most to you. Being the tiller of the earth, being the one who receives the fruits of the earth. You have done that in very many lifetimes. But like I said, even though we say what lifetime is impacted, it's usually a combination. I did one reading for a lady the other day, and she'd been in control so much. She calls herself a ditz now, but she's not. She's in control, and she will not take. She absolutely will not make what she will. She refuses because she doesn't.
Right.
And if you're listening, I didn't say your name. So, okay. So because of that, you're afraid of your own power, and you try to, and it's not so much other people come up against you, it's you. Well, I can't do that. We're not gonna accept that. Oh no, nobody's gonna like that. You are the worst cheerleader in the whole You have lost the concept. You've lost the concept. So
Everyone
you,
just goes funny. She says it to everybody.
so you
Yeah.
bind yourself because you're so afraid of being out there and then failing. Never be afraid to fail, sweetheart. You should only be afraid to try. Failure just helps us recreate something better.
Yes.
Did you get that first pie right the first time? I know I didn't.
No way.
My husband is like 62 years old. I think he's still wearing that pie crust in his boot. Okay, somewhere at home. All right. Okay. Just saying. Never be afraid to try. Okay. So what strengths did you bring from that? Yes, sometimes you can be extremely bitchy and even really when you get pushed into a corner, it's not a good thing to push you.
She knows this.
It's not a good thing to push you into a corner because if it's right and you feel it's right to fight for, you're coming out with both barrels of a Tommy gun, a rabbit skunk, whatever you got to fight with. You're going to, and if you say you're going to do it, you attack everything you say you're going to do with everything you are. Don't do it. So one of the fears that may have brought out a fear, and I think this is not a very deep fear. You will be okay with us, but if we got outside in the regular world, you'd want to expand, but you won't. You keep yourself back. Oh, I'm gonna fail and they're all gonna know it. No. The world is out there for you. It is there. Everything that you've accumulated in these past lives to make you an absolute success in this lifetime. Please don't be afraid to use your gifts. Open up. You can't. The epitome of insanity is thinking you're going to make an apple pie if you slice bananas and stick it in that crust. Okay. So the best way to bring all this together is you got to get out of the drama. You got to get, oh my God, what if I do? What if I don't choose? What if you do? What if you do make the right choices? What if you You've got to, your heart is in the right place, your abilities are in the right place, but you constantly keep sticking your foot into the drama of others. You minute you get close to succeeding, you distract yourself with somebody else's problem.
Oh. It's like she was part of
I
a
know,
text
it's like she
conversation.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's like she read our messages.
She's not an actor.
I can barely read my phone. If my granddaughter's not there to help me, I'm a lot.
Absolutely.
But if you will do that, your medicine is healing. What you have here is great to offer. Don't distract yourself with any stuff, with being afraid of being how great you are. There's the joy of being happy with who you are and what you created, and there's being a Kardashian. Ain't real? So, you know.
Ain't nothing fake about that.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
any questions there?
Yeah, yeah,
Slap in the face, right?
yeah, yeah.
Nope, I don't have any questions. Had the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah.
Now you make your 5-year plan.
So now, yeah.
About 5-month plan.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Okay.
I can stretch that. But if I wake up and have an idea, then I'm gonna scrap it. Whoa, let's try this. This feels really good today.
Yeah. Wow.
So with all of that you carry from behind, you cannot say you're a beginner in any sense of the word.
It's nice to have it like,
Validated.
and it's 7.
Mhm.
7 is a huge part of my life.
7 is a spiritual number. It is a spiritual number. It is saying that spirit's got your back. Not that it hasn't got any of our backs. It always does. But when you hit those 7 and 9 years, then you want to hold on to your big girl songs.
Well, my birthday is 7/17.
Yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
there.
So
It's almost
it
your
is.
birthday.
Mhm.
It is, you made what this says, that you made peace with spirit. You may not always call on it, but you made peace with spirit and you agreed that you would allow it to help in this life.
And now I just need to
Let it.
let it. I need to let it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We heard it too.
Thank
The
you,
Lord
Kathy.
made
You're very welcome.
Oh, yeah.
7/17 is your birthday. I was just thinking about that over the other.
I know. 'Cause
Wow.
You think you'll remember and then.
Yeah,
you're,
right?
crap.
Oh, I know.
I'll be
My-
over here.
Man, my sister, we start from the 26th up to the 31st. That's it. I just have to remember I gotta quit calling the youngest one on the middle one's birthday. I just laugh now.
I do that.
It's not my birthday.
You're like,
Oh, well, it should be.
If you keep calling people, you'll get the
Yeah,
right
we
one.
get the right one. Eventually I'll get the right one. Okay. Nick.
She doesn't bite. Except for on Tuesday.
No, she just tells you exactly
yeah.
what you need to hear. Snap out.
So again, shuffle.
Okay.
Think about what you want to know, and when you finish shuffling, then just cut it anywhere. And just put it on the bottom. She shuffles like a man. Men try to stack my deck. They do. They will. I go, okay, you got 15 minutes. You just used 14 and a half. Well, why? Why you don't want me to shuffle? You got them a certain way. No, why do I have to decide a space or something?
Of course not. So what am I doing?
Now this comes to top. And when I do the parties at the casino, I cannot figure out how the hell they got what they just got what I just said, but it always works. So this is the life. This is the hidden things that you may not be aware of that are impacting this life. This is where your strengths are. This is something you may not be aware of, the fear that you brought. And this is how to bring everything back to kosher. So what lives do we have? Okay. So maybe one of the reasons that you're so obsessed with staying in relationships and situations long because you feel you've always been a runner. And you don't trust yourself not to run quicker than a buckwheat snot. Yeah, that's it. Runaway bride got nothing on me. She's going slow motion. I'm on a motor. And so that feeling of always maybe not have fulfilling your wishes, of maybe running before you had to set, has made you why you stay in relationships so much longer this time because I'm not being a runner. Okay, there's just between a runner and oh my God, this
Red flag, red flag.
okay, different,
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, one thing that you brought over. So this means that you tended to make yourself feel better with things outside of you that were not good for you. You picked up a lot of bad habits. Your soul is very wise and knows that it can't really be happy. And if you couldn't be happy in what you wanted, then you just outside things to make you happy. And you got lost in it. Here's the big secret. We don't make mistakes. We make the best choice we can with what we have at the time. Because God gave us the ability to make another choice. So we don't waste time thinking about what we did and it didn't work. We just say, okay, I've been there, not so comfortable, not going.
I'm afraid of the silence.
So where you put the strengths that you got is vision beyond vision. And some people don't understand that about you because you can see, we could be looking, what the, how do you see that? What, are we looking at the same cup of cola? And it's like, but you have vision. You can pull a rabbit out of a hat because you've seen so much and you know when you want to focus, you know what to do to get it there. So your vision is never tunnel. It's never. It is just so wide open that it scares some people. How does she know that? How does she feel that way? She's not from around here. And I say, no, I'm not. Third planet to the left. But these demons don't make no sense. So you brought that with you, the ability to see more than others see, and be able to make something out of things other people would consider drunk, and they wonder, why didn't I take that? Look what she made out of it, because they don't have your vision. They would not have been able to pull that out. So what hidden fears did it bring? Oh, sweetie, the only thing in the world that never changes is change. You can't be afraid of change.
Yeah, and this needs to right here go.
Yep. Were you a building in progress?
Yeah, I am. It is.
What floor you on?
Well, I don't know how high the building is, but
Okay.
but I
Oh, we got a good
noticed.
contractor.
I know about myself, so I believe that's why I'm here because of change.
Yeah, but you don't celebrate all that has changed, and it's not going to continue to change until you start, you don't have to go overboard. You don't got to buy yourself a
How's my thing?
you can pat yourself on the back occasionally, okay? It's good for the elbow.
Yeah.
Flabbies. So, patting on your back is good for you. So you got that fear of change, that fear that you're not going to make it. You always overcome the heart racing. You got to get everything going, sweetie. So you get that invitation from God that says, "I'm calling you next Wednesday." Step it up. You might chill out. Just a little. So how to bring that together? How to bring that all together is to know your magnificence is not going to be built on one project. You are here with the ability to bring in many projects. Your life and your finances are not going to be built on one big empire. It's going to be built on a lot of things that you put together. It's got to be your creation.
Okay.
It's not written in stone. It's not something somebody else has did. It's got to be your creation. That's the only time you're going to give yourself peace in here and accept that you put it
That is all. That is all. Yes. Yes.
out. That's my challenge. Say no more.
Yes. Thank you. That is all. Yes.
Or at least don't get caught.
Oh my God. Yes, that too. Oh.
Anybody else?
Do it.
Come on, Haley.
Yeah, this is,
Take an hour forever.
yeah.
Good.
Do I need to explain that again?
What do I say?
You're asking to see the life that's most impacting this lifetime, right? lifetime, hidden things you brought in, your strengths, fears that you may have also brought in, and how to bring it all together. Now let's see what life. Okay. Is there anything you don't want? Because I want some of this, I want some of that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, and that's a wonderful thing. But if you're trying to do 10 things at once, how good is anything going to come out? This is not a bad card, but what it's saying is that with the desire, because you feel that you've lost out on so many things, and the desire to have so many things, that you again might also suffer from the same things because you don't honor what you have. You don't say anything about what you have created. You always, no matter what, how good things get, you always feel a lack because you've had so many lifetimes of not feeling that you've achieved what you wanted. Again, I'm giving you all a dictionary with the word cheerleader in it. There is nothing wrong. In fact, that is what life is. I desire to be the world's greatest astronaut ballerina when I'm that my life revolved around it. I put so much glitter on my helmet, I nearly broke my skin. I spent so much time on my toes. I actually wonder my feet are still not performed now. But at 66, I no longer close my boat. My head is too fat for that helmet, and my toes make funny noises when I get them.
Have you ever tried to push it back on? They don't feel good. I'm not
No, it
Oh,
doesn't,
God,
it doesn't.
cramped up.
It doesn't. Just looking at it, I can cramp up. It's like my toes brought inward.
Yeah.
But still, dancing is the gift that God gave me. I love dancing. It's my first form of prayer. That's where I go when I can't get out of my aquarium head. I dance, and then my mind gets a break, and I can hear the other. So again, life should always be about desires, but you shouldn't overwhelm yourself so much with it that you die unhappy because you got 8 and you didn't get 9. So you don't trust a lot. You don't trust it. No, that's not a good move. That's not a good person. He's lying. There's something wrong. I will keep picking till I find something wrong. Well, I told you he was wrong, but you beat him and you stalked him. There was bound to go something wrong. You're an author. So no matter how good the picture looks, you will pick it apart like a little old lady doing her crochet. There's something wrong here. I know there's something wrong. And then you'll be like, you're wrong. Like grandma. She'll go, like my grandmother would tell me, do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one.
She wants it all, right?
Okay, so what strength is this? What strength is you? Well, you're the best mom in the world because you understand your children. You do. You don't want them to suffer. Now, I'm not supposed to make you cry.
We've been telling her this all day.
You are the best mom in the world. Your children, you would kill. So don't say it because it's on film. But somebody messed with your kids. I come and tell you somebody messed with your kids so you can kill somebody. Yep, we did it. Kill him. Because of all this, you want to make sure that your kids have everything they require. Take it from a mom who believes that. Give them what they require. If you give them everything, your life's gonna be miserable. Because they're gonna be only on crutches and say, "Well, Mom, you say you would love me no matter what. You'd always be there." I did. Did you get that writing? Was it on film?
It is. Yes, no.
So because of that, you made that commitment to your kids that they're not going to slack or listen for anything. Just remember that their souls came in for different things, and sometimes what you think is their nirvana is going to be something different than what they think. So That's okay. And you fear change. You fear change? Nope, everything's going good, dope. But I know it's gonna mess up. Everything's going good, dope. But I know it's gonna mess up. You gonna give God headaches. He don't know what to drink or take to figure out what the hell you make him drink. Me too. She wants to taste more. She's gonna find something wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with Jason, but
But I bet you for that, you try to not be yourself. For this, I'm gonna break this chain. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with that. So you fear the change. You make the success and then you fear it's gonna be taken away. No, that's from childhood where people set boundaries and said, I'll only love you for this, which is why you had to go a little overboard with your kids. Because you want them to know you will always love them no matter what they do. And that's here, I love you. I train my children well. I love you. I just don't like you right now. I will always love you, but I'm not liking you right now. So, what can bring all this together? What can bring all this together is you really do need to focus on all the good that you have in life, because you have quite a lot of blessings and you have quite a lot of treasures in yourself, but you constantly compare them to everybody else. I don't care if you have a Siamese twin on your ass, you're not going to be the same. You got to go the same way because you got two legs. You have got to start seeing the good in yourself, and you are not one-dimensional. So a mom is not the only thing you can good at, but it's the only thing you let yourself celebrate. Even though you go to bed going, "Oh my God, I screwed that up. I know I should have said that down." You gonna call it your God being alcohol. He's got good stuff. All my gangs is straight. They tag team each other. Okay, I'm going to the bar. She's yours. Just watch her. Just watch her. I just have one or two. You just watch her. I'll be back. So really, to bring this in, you have to start acknowledging the good that you do and the good that you have to offer, and not expect your good or what you have to offer to echo or anybody else.
Man.
You're welcome. I'm having extra ice cream tonight. You're stressing me out. I'm gonna stop and get another pint of Haagen-Dazs.
Gabby's gonna come in pom-poms next week.
Cheerleading.
I was thinking, I was like, I can go to Dollar Tree.
Yeah, you get the
I can write a pom-pom spell. I was a cheerleader. I can make it happen.
I always wanted to be
Yay.
a dancer. I was thinking
I was a cheerleader team. I couldn't go
then I was a
cheerleader.
dancer with
Oh,
yes. I did color.
Yes, you did. I did that. You are a ball of fire. Yes, I remember you. Think of the life. Ask for what you want to see. That's okay. Always talk to the one who understands.
So I
Now,
I'm
this
gonna
is
use
some
that
stuff.
from now on. Everyone's always like, "Are you talking to yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have to." Like, I'm out.
I need
Now I'm just gonna be
expert
like, "I'm
advice.
talking to the one."
Here's the lie. And I'll just explain them when I turn them over.
Okay, I think I remember.
So here's the lie. Here's the lie. Okay. And this is why people think that you're super tough and that you don't need anybody to get a spot, because you feel that several lives you've had to struggle and do everything on your own and take your shit on your own. And so you ain't asking nobody for pity, which can be a good thing, but there's a big difference between begging and your butt's on fire and the guy's got a bucket of water. Okay, there's a difference. So that feeling of always having to fight, of always having to be under control, like nobody will let you be who you want to be. Okay. It's not serial killer, child molester. I'm all in your corner. Be you. Do you, baby. But that feeling of always having to contain yourself, that nobody's going to accept you, is one of the reasons why you push the envelope sometimes of you either going to like me the way I am or you're not, even when you really don't feel that. Don't give me that look. So here is one of the things. So you're the leaver first. Nobody leaves you. You leave first. No, you're the leaver first because remember doing this card, you do things to push people's buttons. That makes you the leaver first because you're making it impossible for even if they, unless they are Jesus, they're going, I don't know what to do. I don't know. This is about this is, okay, you're going to put your part like that.
I think
you
that-
don't know yourself well enough.
I think that you go into things without, so then it kind of like turns into, because your expectations are already that, so then that's what it turns into.
Yeah. How many times have you said this?
Because you're very
Every
like,
time.
she always like has very low expectations of things that are gonna happen.
She knows.
You said it in a different word.
Yeah.
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 She's our interpreter. You make people upset on purpose because you expect them to throw you over. There? Okay. Is she still there? Okay. No, it was not true. So one of the spirit that he brought, and you also that you have to do everything yourself. You have to handle everything. You have to be on top of everything, and so really, that's kind of like my ex-husbands both said the same thing when I divorced them, and they didn't even like each other, but they both said the exact same words. They're the most independent. Sounds like witch, but starts with a B. I have ever met. So, where your strengths lie? Where your strengths lie? Well, is that well, the way that I can see this as a strength is that you have convinced yourself it doesn't matter and it doesn't hurt. So you can be alone and it doesn't matter.
That's what I do too, so that if you don't let it in, you have your guard up. It's not gonna actually hurt. And most people do that subconsciously too.
If I do that,
If I'm on my own, I'm okay. If I'm on my own, I am okay. I choose it. But I'm not, but to say that and pretend to myself that I'm okay, I'm being alone and not having somebody who I absolutely know has my back, that wouldn't be helpful. Because we're not talking about quantity here, we're talking about quality. And sometimes, you can be pushing away the very person that is there for you, but they just don't know. If they say nice things, you tell them they're lying. If they say bad things, you say, oh, I knew you didn't really care about me. It's like, hold on a minute, I'm gonna hit the pipe. Because I'm so confused. I just don't know which door to knock on. So one way of bringing this all together is you gotta learn which battles are worth fighting and which you should just not. Knowing when it's okay to be Xena warrior princess. If nobody's really attacked, you don't need to be Xena warrior princess.
You can be Gabrielle.
So yeah. Sure, if you you have to look at it. It's really hilarious.
It's really
Xena Warrior
campy.
Princess and Gabrielle is her sidekick.
Oh, okay.
Xena's the warrior, Gabrielle is strictly fun and laughter. And who gets rescued.
Yeah.
So this is about the way to do that is to learn which fights are worth fighting and which to just do. Mind over matter. Okay.
Usually even in unhealthy relationships or just all like searching for the relationship even.
She's like, I don't.
No, I'm just remembering us working together. We haven't changed very much. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And you're still, and you're stubborn as
Yeah.
but no one can make you happy. And knowledge is power. There is not a single one of us in this room, in this universe, that's absolutely perfect, that cares that for anybody to be looking in our secret closet. But if we understand, that's why the phrase healer know thyself. In doing this kind of work, in being trained in this, I have to absolutely know it. I know where I'm weak. I know where I'm strong. I know where I ain't going to give a damn inch. And I know where I can be compromised. If I didn't know that, then I would have been lost in this a long time ago. That's you crazy. I take that back. But to know thyself is not to pick on yourself. I was doing it just the other day because there's a place in me that I wish I was strong, that I really do, that I wish I was better at, but I have yet to conquer that place. But I know I will never conquer it as long as I, Lord, protect this. So after about, yes, but only if it makes you happy. Only if it makes you happy. Any questions?
Should I go?
Yeah.
Is it on? Yeah,
I don't like to
I
hear
don't
some
like
things.
that.
I just want
I-
to hear it. Sometimes I
Because we had the air conditioning, it seems we can't find a happy medium in our air conditioner. We can't just be this lightly chilled.
Yeah.
It either gotta be a popsicle or like, is the air conditioning on?
I'm comfortable right
Well, that
Like,
that
yeah.
seat is a hot seat.
Yeah,
I'm over here,
now. You're burnt too.
okay.
Think about what's like impact most, right? And whatever you think of.
Look at the bridge.
I'm always like worried to bend my cards.
Oh.
Like, yeah. But I do it. anyways.
Well, the cards are going to get bent to eventually. This is the fourth incarnation of this deck, and it's just incarnated this month. I've been over swamped with bridal parties. And the last one died, and we always look at the
Uh-oh.
Joker.
That's bad luck.
Because no.
No, that means
no,
that-
no, okay. We have the 8 of Wands. We'll see if it comes up in the reading. So we need to expand our boundaries. You're not going to get delivered to your house what you want. That means you're going to have to go out in the world and go for it.
That's actually not you.
He's got
Okay.
jumpers.
So right now,
Oh my
drama
God,
is
skeleton
not your
was
best
awesome.
friend. Right now, we need to look at a plan. We don't have to make a long distance this the next 12 years, but it's time for you to start looking at a plan of what you want to bring about in your life the next. So what life is impacting you? Okay, so you're the peacekeeper in the family. You're the one because
That's exactly what my therapist.
you've
told me.
always been the one. You've always been the one.
Well,
You-
no, that mom actually like go back.
Yes, that,
you-
yes.
you don't even look at your happiness because you're looking at making everybody else happy. This
Oh
is
my
your
God.
job. This is what you came in to do. It's that means you've gone through so many family lifetimes where it seems you carry on all the responsibility of making sure that everybody in the family is happy.
Well, yeah. Sometimes
So-
like I don't even think about my own happiness in the family. I just think like, is my little brother happy? Is my sister happy?
Do you
Are my
remember that guy
parents
named
happy?
Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah, he climbed up on that cross so he didn't have to. Because God does not make one of his other children happy by destroying the other child. So giving should always be because of your heart, but you should also allow receiving because God affords it back. If you give out, you gotta allow yourself to be given. So one of the fears, okay. So you also, one of the fears you brought in is about motherhood. It is. So evidently in those lifetimes you may have felt that you were not a proper mother, that you did not give what was needed, and you're trying to make up for that. So you're nurturing everybody in their pet. I didn't mean it. Children, I didn't mean it.
No, I know. I'm thinking of like how little brother. Sometimes I assume the role. Like I don't even know what I'm doing it, but I feel like some things are lacking in the family, and then I need to step in. Like it's my responsibility.
But it's not. It's your responsibility to help them become the greatest angel that he can be. Because that's all of our jobs, to encourage each of us to grow our own ways. So yes, he gets a little frustrated with you. And then you get mad because he's frustrated with you and you're not trying to help, but he just thinks you're trying to be bossy. Because you guys have to settle this karma in this lifetime. You do. So now you got to quit being quite so much mother. And sometimes when he asks you for help, then you got to start saying, well, what do you think you should do with it? You got to start encouraging him to know that he is strong. So what is your strength you got? Yeah, you got enough battle armor. You have all the artillery. Yeah, I bet you could toss rings around everybody. You know exactly what to say. Like, you know, I did this for a living. Do I look like I want to be incarnated as a garden stud? I go like slime. Imagine trying to get away from your own slime. You're in this garden, you hear this little voice going, so evidently I offended God, and here I am. I have my way through life. Still, your fears. Okay, so you won't battle for you, but you'll battle for everybody else. So again, you share that card with them, knowing what to fight for and what not.
You stick up for yourself all the time.
Yeah, but
There's
also
You don't take anyone's crap.
when it comes
Oh,
to
no,
my
that's
friends,
different.
But when it comes to like my friends and stuff, like I'll defend like with my whole and like forget about my problems.
She really wanted that dress, but her friend wanted it more. She really wanted that dress, but she let her friend have it. That's what I mean about the mothering and the nurturing. Standing up for yourself is one thing. Battles are not always about fights. They're about, okay, there's only one piece of cake left. Piece of cake. I really now see I'm me, not her, so I'm getting a damn piece of cake. And I said I really wanted it. I mean, you reach for that cake. You don't lose a finger. But her, she gave it up. If I gave it up, I'd be pitching all year. You will throw that cake up just to get me to shut up. Now, is that not her?
I think she has like a really
Maybe not mom. Yeah.
Maybe little brother.
So the way to bring it all together is to relax. You are too tense for somebody so young.
I think you're gonna get that card.
I just
You need stress less. Boom, do something. roller skate.
That's right, that's stressful.
Yes, you will be 90 by the time you're 60. Okay? Yeah. Go egg somebody's house. I would not encourage vandalism, but you need.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Toilet
you need
paper.
to play.
Toilet
Yeah.
Find a house that's being remodeled and they're tearing off the outside. Egg
Yeah.
that one.
Always fun. Cause I feel like I constantly
But I'm an old soul. You better tell you I can do childish quick. How old did you say you were? How old do you want to make me? But all that mothering and all that taking care of also needs some self-care.
That's true. Thank you.
You're very
I think sometimes too, like, who our kids are with us is very different
From
than
who
who our
they are
kids
with-
are with their peers.
Yeah.
And, yeah, yeah.
My children are reasonable human beings with their peers.
Yeah.
Yeah, with their
With
peers.
your peers. Mike is well behaved, but he's not this weird.
Yeah.
So he's the mom, he's like.
Yeah, well, you just want to see the life it's supposed to be like.
I think small hands in general are good stuff. I'm not.
They're like twice the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading it, I know it wasn't good.
You know how to take care of that? Put a rubber band on these two fingers
Okay, so what?
and
like-
work it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I do this all day.
So-
Yeah.
here we have the
That's
chariot.
cute.
With scissors.
Which
Oh,
means
hair cutting,
that
yeah. I'm like,
You
yeah.
live a lot of lives where you felt you had to tell people what to do. If you didn't do it, they weren't going to get to where they needed to. If you didn't stay on top of it, make sure they weren't going to get to where they needed to. So sometimes it feels like you're driving your bus and everybody else's bus with you. It's like, no, don't go that way. Can you not see the hole in that tire underneath? Have I not told you this? So in that of trying to always make sure that everybody was doing what they needed to do and was achieving what they needed to, you may be hard to let go of control. So what does that bring about? You really don't know what funny is.
Oh,
In a lot of ways.
Yep,
That's
it's like
right.
fun. You don't
know,
understand the
us.
concept, but you got to do this. You got to do that. Don't you have to do that? You have totally just. Fun is like a Korean to a Chinese person. They look alike. They don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of like, it's just not in your pinwheel. That's not good. You deserve fun time. You deserve dinner. You deserve a day or an hour off where you haven't got to make sure everybody's okay. So one of the strengths that it gave you, that if anything that's pushed your way, you don't fall. You just don't. You're incapable of falling. You've got an answer for this and an answer for that. You have. And that leads us to the belief that we're indestructible, which we're not. Just that when we drop dead, it's a surprise. We have done what? What am I doing here? It's giving you the strength and the abilities to know that, but somehow you missed the point where there are days when you need to be Mother Mary, all nice and I got you and hold it, and then other days when you got to be Mama Kali and smack them with all 1,000 arms because you told them 4,000 times how to do it. So you have this ability, and instead of saying, "Oh, this is wonderful," you might miss that they have those abilities not quite in as strong a strength as you do. You're so afraid they're going to mess up that you don't give them a chance to mess up. All of us, no matter what families or what life we're born into, have to have a chance to mess up, but we're never going to be able to find out how to handle things on our own. So what other fears you were, okay. The Eight of Pentacles can be a great card But when it's a hidden fear, it means that you're afraid to change. You're afraid if you make any change that things gonna go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
I don't disagree with any. Have you seen a seed? It's a seed. But that seed will drop some roots and grow a stem, right? Because it's a seed, it has to grow something. And that stem will bud because it's a seed, it has to grow something. That bud will make a flower. It will be beautiful for a while, but that flower has to die to make another seed. That's life, and that's what life is. Keep going through the same steps over and over again. It's not life, it's just existing. And if God wanted you to exist, He could make you a rock or a tree.
I take a record.
Yeah, really, sometimes it's just leave me alone. But so knowing this, then you need to, instead of picking on yourself and say, oh my God, I'm doing it again, it's go, oh, I'm doing it again, backing up, rewind, rewind, and do something. The best energy for it to be in, I know you're not gonna like this, but you gotta become friends with yourself. If you want the kind of relationship where you finally feel that you're being given as much as you give, you gotta become friends with yourself.
I hear you.
Good.
You're very welcome.
She's already said I'm gonna get the 5 worst cards.
Okay,
No.
first of all, don't be dissing my deck. There are no worse cards in here missing. I see it. Every black woman in the future. Just saying. Yeah. Shuffle and ask to be shown which lifetime is most protecting. It should be really fun because I don't think you've had very many lifetimes. When I say very many, I'm not talking over 100. Your soul is very young. He doesn't understand half the crap that goes on here. It's so confusing. And I'm not talking about here, but if you look at people and you go, she probably said that a lot. I'm looking at the Twitcher. The face simply when she kicks this table.
You're gonna have an angry black lady.
So here we have, it's just like I said, you haven't had very many lifetimes because you don't trust anything you think or believe. You discount what you feel or what you do. You feel you don't have the backup behind it. You feel like you don't know enough. Sweetie, all of us started somewhere, okay? And I don't care, all of us who are older than dirt and Jesus Christ come back. We don't know everything. The day we admit to knowing everything, it's think we should get us some value to maybe not let us walk behind you. But you feel that you don't have enough to back up. You feel things so strongly, but you won't play them because you know. Who the hell do you think everybody else is? Who do you think Bill Gates was before he had all that money? We actually knew his name.
Yeah.
He was just me. That's where all people come from the just me eye. It's what they make out of the just me. That is important. So, a fear you'd have brought back, you tend to worry like a 90-year-old woman.
She's probably got the worry line.
Let me see your palms. Yep, look at all, those are stress. Those little lines there in that pen, those are stress. What do you got to be stressed about? A zit? When your boobs grow? Sorry.
They already have.
Yeah, I know, they do the same thing to me. My worst is stuffing stockings in her shirt. I'm trying to slump.
Take them down.
So But so it makes you worry and second guess, second doubt, and doubt. It's okay to check yourself, but not to wreck yourself. What strengths did you bring in from this? What strengths did you bring in?
Uh-oh.
The strengths that you brought in is that you're very good distracting yourself from how you feel. Instead of letting yourself feel it, you deal with distractions. And that can be a strength. If you plan to go with plan B when you get old enough to get married, and you marry somebody rich enough to pay for your therapy every day, so somebody can call you and tell you how you feel because you don't remember how you feel. Okay? Good? We can get off that. Not a bad card. Because you are just a baby,
There are
okay?
no
So
bad
you're
cards.
you're allowed some distraction, but don't let that be the way that you face life. I can't face this. I can't deal with it. So I'm just gonna distract myself. Unless you got a good family. Okay. So your fears. There's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. God made you perfect. You are. I know your mother may not think that in the middle of the night or when the principal calls, but if you needed to exert yourself to find yourself, then you're going to make some unwise calls, and my grandma's going to do this to you, which is saying, right now, stop the conversation because you're cutting your nose off the side of your face, and you're not the right outcome. But you are successful in a lot of things, but you don't even look at that. You just look at what makes you messed up. This is not a good environment for a black woman to be slapping a small white man. Yeah. But I would want them to understand that I am not doing this in a racial way. I'm treating you like my own grandmother. Because if my grandmother would talk to us and words weren't working, then she was perfectly willing to settle for the smack upside the head. Did that knock some sense into you? You have got to celebrate what's good about you, what you're at. Don't let yourself, you fear being a success. You carry the gene of, oh my God, I can't be this good because I don't make Susie feel bad. That's never worked well for anybody. You cannot make somebody better by making yourself less. So the best way for you to get over this, for right now, and I think this goes with you being 15 years old. You're not ready to make a change right now. You hope something comes along to make a change, but you're not ready to make a change until things get really tight and you have no place else to go. Again, I say that's okay for right now, until you really have a sense of where you want to go, then it's your right to explore everything. You're not stripping, you're not running away from home. And no drugs. But right now, for right now, it's to let yourself see what could be made, not to get stubbornly caught up in, oh, this is this and this is that. Let yourself have some leeway and some freedom. Now, were those 5 bad? Were they bad cards?
No.
To be young in this lifetime and to be so young that you feel that when you're in the presence of older souls and your soul can tell, then you discount everything you know. And that's something we all have to learn. I can know something, but that doesn't mean it's the end all be all. It may be the right thing for me, but it's only half the right thing for you. If what I said sparks a bulb in your head and you start thinking on your own, which is important, because I'm not looking for any followers. My name's not Jesus. And yes, my mother was going to name me Mary Catherine because she wanted me to be a nun. Yeah,
Oh, my.
I think my dad just laughed. So I want you to, because God gives each of us one piece of the puzzle. Just one. We each have one piece. No one else will duplicate it. No one else has it. So to fit yourself in the mold and try to be someone else, then you're doing a disservice to everyone. We need your peace the way it is.
And I'm really relating to that because her dad puts her in a box.
That's what I'm
Oh.
hearing.
And her
I'm
dad-
hearing that.
It wants her to be perfect and she can't make a mistake. And every
Oh,
time they make a
yeah.
mistake, it's-
I'm 66 years old. My dad still wants me to be a psychiatrist. Okay, I go home and he says, "You want to go back to school?" And now I just say, "Yeah." Can I bring the grandkids? I'm not taking my grandkids here. Okay. Daddies are a whole other creature. You must learn to deal with
Sorry.
That's where my brain went to, and that whole reading.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Me too.
She got it hard, like she has a difficult relationship with dad. Her stepmom. So like literally what you said is
Literally.
basically what they've kind of put on her neck. It's really,
what she wants.
does that make
Mhm,
sense?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because if you
being
tell
with
anybody
people,
something, all of us grown people, if you sat in here and told me, well, no, that wouldn't work. You told me you told me I wouldn't be sexier with a bigger butt, you could talk me to doing the face. I don't want a bigger butt. If you tell somebody something wrong for a long time, they're going to believe it.
Well, and that's my fear with her dad is because like she's just got this fiery soul and she's just got this, I call her my spicy child.
Mhm.
And I feel
And
like
your dad is very controlled. And he likes
Yeah.
controlling things. This is about learning about parenting. I wish we weren't on camera because if my dad hears this, I'm going to be grounded for the So, fathers are a different creature. My dad is so different. He is not the emotional type. He didn't grow up in that type of thing. Well, he is especially loving to you, or if he feel he messed up, he'll give you a bigger check because that's a dad's job to see that you have everything you need to make your life smoother. Now, when I was younger, I didn't like that, and I thought he doesn't really love me. He is my stepdad. He doesn't really love me, but this is my dad's nature. Everybody loves differently. My mother would get mad at us, and she might do something we didn't like. She wouldn't say she was sorry, but she'd make us our favorite dessert. Everybody loves it. As you grow, you're going to learn that your father had another name before he became your father. And so he has little issues and little things, and you can accept the ones that you can accept. You can ignore the ones that you can't. Remember to be polite because pays the bills. And when you're old enough, you decide which road you're going. But it's not about him being right, you being wrong, or about you being wrong and you being right. It's about you being two different people, and your father really thinks that by doing this, he's keeping you safe. And like I said, fathers are a whole nother breed. You'll know what to do. Your soul will know what to do. Know that he's doing it out of love, and it'll make it a little less hard on you when he says, you do with great honor, great intelligence, and your
you can be saying whatever else you want in your head.
You will learn dexterity because you can have 4 conversations with your face will mirror this mirror.
And then your gambling skills will work out so.
There's nothing that you to be not ever, no matter how much you want people to love you or like you, it's gonna make everybody happy. To make this one happy, the other one gonna say, well, you need to be like this. You got to be like Mother Teresa. You got to make sure the life you choose is the life you choose. Because you will make more happy. So try not to take it personal. It's just a daddy. And try not to roll your eyes on this. Yeah, that's just when you get that 9 yards there because you're trying to keep your eye on.
So it's not like these
Close
guys
your
are
eyes.
facial expressions aren't so like she can't hide that kind of stuff very easily.
That's why you smile. It's hard to interpret. Oh my You're smiling. Just keep saying your hair.
I need, that's good. I need that with my mom.
Mother and daughter relationships. I swear to God, those were formed in hell.
Yeah. I know. That's what I've been, not enough card. Never enough.
All
Any
right.
questions,
Yeah, what kind
everybody?
of questions do you have? Because Kathy's been doing this here for 21 years. But she's been doing this for, I forget how long.
33 years.
33,
professional.
okay.
How do you learn those cards?
I know, there's a whole.
Oh,
there's a whole lot of-
sweetie,
Oh.
I have buku books right now, but my grandmother gave me my first deck when I was 10. I've never had a book. I have
Okay.
books now because layouts. My grandmother gave me my deck and she said, okay, now tell me what you think they mean. There was no book. She made me write out all 78 cards of what
Oh
I
my
thought they meant. And just when I thought I was safe and I could go out and play, 'cause I did all 78 of them, she said, okay, now pick a card. You tell me how that works for you. So that's why I could do a reading for two people and make it the same card, but it won't mean it. I call it the spark because when I see a card, a flash comes at the part of the card that means what it's meant for the person. And that's what's reading that into it. And much reading them for the person in front of me. The only time books I recommend are the Hanson Robert book, because the Hanson Robert book has only one word for each card. And if you know the secret of tarot, which is the fact that tarot is a story, it's got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's got to have an appendix. If you don't like the end, it's got to tell the story. So if you get half a thing, but that doesn't make any sense. It's got to tell a story. No. So that's it. I had to learn to trust myself. I did a reading for two ladies. They were in the room together. They both got the Two of Cups. And for the first time, I noticed that instead of, if you read the book, the Two of Cups says seeing eye to eye, being of like mind. But for the first time, I realized that one of the ladies looked like she was really giving the stink eye to the other lady. And I said, so why are you mad at her? And so I said, this is a really good relationship, but right now you're really pissed at her. And she looked at the other and she said, yeah. And I said, well, okay. So we finished her reading and we went to the other one. She got the Two of Cups. And I said,
Oh
okay,
my
because
gosh.
the spark hit the Two of Cups, hit the cup. And I said, do you think the drink is going to solve all your problems?
Oh.
She said, and they just totally lost the whole thing. But that was the same card. But how do you know that? I said, because the little spark that works with me, my grandmother, whatever you want to call it, focused on the cup. Focused on the
There's
cup.
a lot of images on it.
Oh,
So-
yeah, God, yes. There are some card decks that you could go blind reading one card. You could read the whole person's life in that one card. It's got too much symbolism on it.
And that's it with my oracle cards.
Yeah, like when
But
I'm
they-
reading tarot cards, like if I've studied the book, but I find if I interpret it on my own, like I really use like my intuition to guide it. It makes so much more sense than if I like just going off what the book says.
That's why you don't ever read we didn't believe in that. My grandma said, if you can't read your cards for yourself, how are you asking somebody else to trust you? But don't ever read your cards when you're in a bad way. You don't ever. My son was going through some trouble and my hands were shaking so bad. And yet every time I tried to shift the card, the same card would fall out, it was the oracle deck, an angel deck, and it said, your children on heaven and earth are okay. And I go, wait, you're looking at the wrong son. You remember, I got you. This is not an okay situation. I'm picking it back up, but every time I picked it up, shuffled it, the same card fell out.
What's that one?
That this is my birth card. That means I came into this world learning how to get over this place. That was something that I needed to learn. That's from numerology. But see, my soul card and my personality card are just total opposites of each other. My soul card is the Fool. My personality card is the Emperor. The Fool doesn't control anything. It just merely goes along with what it wants. Whereas the Emperor says, this must be in slot A, this must be in slot B. So I assumed when I was born that God said, you're going to be crazy when you go down there. So that's why I'm not going to let your body tolerate any alcohol or drugs because it would not be a good outcome.
That first card that we pulled for me, sorry. Kathy, I'm thanking you in advance. Because last week, when you looked at home, I said I was a warrior, and when I saw that, I saw a soldier, and you said running, so I interpreted that when I first saw it before you started speaking, was running
Mhm.
in
So what about that for you?
That's what I'm about
Just,
keeping
I want
distractions
you-
at bay.
I want you to write on a piece of paper the word selfish. Then on the other side of the word selfish, I want you to write the word selfless and see that they are not the same.
Yeah.
Homework's not supposed to be fun, they wouldn't call it homework.
Yeah.
You said about the where am I weak, strong. I put stubborn because we moved on and my brain was like flittering. Okay. And where I can be compromised. I think that's another thing I need to really dig into.
Yeah, I can fix you, I can fix you. If I stick at it long enough, I can fix you. Well, if you want to change your name to Jesus,
No,
you got a
and
chance.
that's what I've done with all the alcoholic, the two alcoholic
I will make you better.
husbands. Yeah, and not like you're gonna fight your battle and then you come to show up in relationship.
It is again about one-dimensionalism. Why do we think that we're all one dimension? There are times when we have to be the warrior. There are times when we must be the one who's rescued. Life is about a full-bodied life. How I am today may not be how I am tomorrow because I will not know what situation I'm going to face. And if I say this is the way Kathy is and that's all, then I may as well lay down and die because I'm not growing. I'm not doing anything worthwhile. So yes, this is something I've done all my life and it causes me extreme pain. One day I'm going to wake up with an aha light bulb over my head and go.
Yeah, and that's where I am, and that's why I showed up here to this. And when I met you, because I'd met you before in your belly day class a few years ago, and then I walked into higher self. Yeah, it's I'm just really having to sit in this discomfort and again in the silence.
And
Because
it
in
shouldn't
the
be
silence,
discomfort. Like, again, don't judge yourself.
No,
You
no,
made
'cause
the best choice
yeah,
that you
but
could.
I
at the
was I
time.
am there because I've always distracted me. Now here I'm sitting in a different seat, and like being in the discomfort is getting because the noise and filling my time
The
with
distraction.
all the little things. Like you need to put those down and get to yourself.
Yeah, it's in this moment. Whatever you're growing in this moment, it's going to grow in the next hour. So,
And take it from me, it ain't an fixing alcoholic, or you're gonna wind up real serious.
I know it is 2 times over, and I had kids with one of them.
Oh.
Still battling that, but
still battling with things to teach you and your kids about personal
yeah. That's a whole bunch of what I focus on the kids about. It is not somebody else's fault. What can you do? What are you doing? What have you done? Like, where are you in this equation? Like, yeah, what are your choices? How are your actions? What are your thoughts? Owning it, knowing it, and growing from it. Moving into the next moment. Right?
Yes, I told my kid, if you get arrested for robbing a liquor store and you go to the judge and say, but Your Honor, my friend did it, guess what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't get your friend.
Right,
They
right.
got you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, my 180-day fiance. He would cut his firstborn is very naughty. She's naughty. And he has no boundaries. He's taught no boundaries. But he kept saying, well, because the divorce, and because her mom, and because the divorce, and because her mom. I said, never in the court of law has because my parents are divorced been a plausible.
Yeah, yeah.
Has been plausible. Like it
Okay,
doesn't
we're
work.
sorry, but you're going to jail.
Yeah, yeah, yep, sorry to hear it.
Still
but-
going to jail.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, just because your parents got divorced, mine are still married, they should have got divorced.
Yeah.
But it's still not.
It all
It's
depends on
still-
what you make,
Yeah.
and it's up to you
still
to make
not okay.
from the ingredients that you get in life.
Okay, anyone else have fun? Thank you. I'm really good at that. Thank you. That was
Mm-hmm.
way to, you know, one more slap in the face for me.
Okay, look, I am not the violent type.
We scroll back in our conversation, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday, 2 days ago? Like that was everything like you've said.
Right.
Like when we're talking about or was that today? I don't know.
Who knows?
I can't keep up with our messages. But you're like, that you're talking about your ex relationships and how you're
Puts me
like,
in a corner. and I
yeah,
just come out.
literally,
Yeah.
like the words were
Yeah.
what you
Where
were
else can you
saying.
go?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he like gets on me about, you know, coming out with my fist slang. And I was like, you backed me into the corner.
Yeah.
You're such a violent person. But just because you didn't physically touch me doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you're
Oh,
not
no.
invading my
Uh-huh.
space.
Yeah.
It's just as painful.
I think the
It's just as
emotional
painful.
is worse than
It
the
is.
physical. Because the physical I know how to handle.
Yeah,
Like,
really,
come at
to
me.
put snipes on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
come at me, see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
But like yeah, the
But the
emotional.
emotional, you know, I think it destroys more.
But then when you come out swinging, then it's even more because they're like, you're violent one, you're doing this,
Oh,
you're doing that. You threw a bottle at me. I'm like, you were 5 inches or 5 millimeters from my face.
Yes, and you did not respond to the first 12 times I told you
Yes.
to back it up. So evidently there was a disconnect between your ears and my lips. So therefore I thought I would just shake something loose.
You threw my socks out the front door. I told you 16 times to get it out of my house.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, and I warned you 12 of them that it was gonna get thrown out the front door. Don't blame it on me.
Which one of the 12 times did you not get?
I'm like, you're the adult here. My toddler listens better.
So see with me, because I grew up in a family that like throw things like that, I can't really bring myself to do it. So the next time he came, it would be on the front porch with whatever weather had hit. It's not my responsibility. Now,
So
because
you
I am
might
my
have
grandmother's
encouraged the
daughter, if you
weather.
had
Yeah,
maybe
you-
had it before he did it, I'd put it in a plastic bag and sit out on the porch. But if I've been telling him as many times as you told him to come and get it, nope, he's just out on the porch. And if the birds poop down it, that's not my problem.
Yeah, there you go.
Excellent cord.
Right here, build that rose core castle.
Yep, time's for some inward work.
Yes, it is.
Do you have any questions? Other pumpkins?
Other people. Well, not to put the pumpkins on the spot, but thank you for coming, and
Yes.
this is awesome, and.
We have a full circle here. We have maiden, mother, and crone.
Yeah. So.
And we're just talking
What?
about, I was just telling these ladies earlier, I'm like, we already have our little sisterhood, and I'm like, we're being led
Yeah.
by these three amazing women, when we're Dawson's here too, I'm like, this is amazing, we already have it.
Yeah, you do.
Just add, keep adding all that
Good.
power.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh-huh.
say, cause, you know, when I first started, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. And I had to sneak, and there were not good books available. The few books that I had got a hold of, thank goodness I had presence of mind to not do, you know, these, you know, like curses or anything like that. So, well, you know, there's some old school witchcraft books that a
Yeah.
13-year-old should not have had her
We
hands
know.
on. Luckily, I had a very strong moral compass to say, no, I'm not doing that. So, but now on the other hand, you can come in here. There's a bazillion crystals, and there's all these oils, and there's an extra shelf in the witchy section out there because we just have so many of those books, and it's free except for then when people are like, which book do I get?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I do when I
So.
stare at that wall.
So on the other hand, you might feel overwhelmed. You might be like, oh my gosh. So what? There's not to put you on the spot or anything, but you know, like,
What are you
what would you like
interested
to
in?
get out of
Do you
this?
feel you got anything out of this?
I'm more so not this quiet.
Right? Do you have a black throat chakra?
She was out there looking, 'cause I got the stone last week, and wanted to get one of the rings, but it was too big. So she was kind of looking around, because I think some, reading those cards that go with them. is cool. I mean, I don't know, I mean, I think, because I know nothing, I'm super, super new, so she really knows, nothing either. So I don't even know, I don't even know if you know,
Don't,
is
don't
this something that you would be interested in just kind of exploring?
See, and you probably feel naked right now because I felt naked, like very raw. So like you don't have to.
And we know your mother and how she is,
I
so
know.
don't feel embarrassed.
She'll
there
be
a daughter
standing
that
in the
doesn't say that?
laundrette, she'll be standing in the aisle and she'll just talk to the person in front of her, behind her, next
I'm
to
the
her,
same way.
on the other side of the earth.
you everybody doesn't do that?
No. I could hear yelling.
Hey!
I
I thought I kicked my person next to me when I was having a drink yesterday or 2 days ago, and like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then
I thought
so
that's
mom's
crazy.
not crazy.
It's just
Yeah.
personal.
It's good.
Well, I will say, there was a time if somebody spoke to me, I would just be like, no. And now I'm just like, hi, how are you? Or worse, they have their dog. I'm like, come on, bring your human. Come on, come in. Right?
What's your name?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember your name.
Yeah, you're a cute human. I want to talk to your dog. Right? Like, I'm just like, woo. But yeah. So,
That would be a good place to start. Like, from the beginning.
Only she would know that. What are you, is you interested in stones? Are you interested in just seeing, there are so many beginner books, so many great ones that we can recommend. But my belief is always to go to the counter, what caught your eye? Pick it up, hold it in your hand, ask what you need to know, and then just open it. That's called book romancy. And that's the way, unless it's a vampire werewolf romance, that's the only, those are the only books that I've read from cover to cover. It's what do I need to know today? And I open, and it's never failed.
Kathy has a dream app, man. There's all kinds of vampire werewolf
Oh.
romances on there.
Well, see, I don't like whiny vampires. I do not like werewolves who are not happy in their fur. I do not want people, super normal people trying to find themselves. I got that in the human world.
Right.
Be bold, be brave. Look at those claws. Those are magnificent. I got paid to get those. I like family stuff. I don't really need it for the sex. In fact, if there's too much sex, I'm probably going to drop that author.
Yeah.
But I like it. They had little cubs are learning to growl and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh my God. Mother werewolf's tearing and chewing her nails and pulling out tufts of her hair. It happens everywhere. Those kids will save. That's what I like. So I have very few writers. Because right now it just seems that most writers seem to have taken a nasty pill on me. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I want to always so fast. No, I don't mean that kind of nasty.
Oh,
I mean a nasty pill.
You know, like Kathy Oslo, the candles were calling to me. This is I'm not. But you're just right across you're across the street from me, so you keep getting my phone call. But the whole candle thing, and then starting with 3 minutes, and I'm like good at it now. I actually felt something like I felt something today, but I couldn't get myself.
Don't try to analyze it. When it comes through, it will. It will. Wait till you. I was doing a candle meditation, and all of a sudden my third eye hurt so bad, and I swear I was cross-eyed like this, and this big white ball came out of my third eye. It came almost that far, and then a big blue flit came out, and that's Flit, my fairy. She came out of my third eye, and I call her Flit. All I can see is that she's a very deep azure blue. She moves so fast, but she was birthed through my third eye.
My third eye has been like the past 3 weeks.
Clear it. Do this.
Yeah, it's been like, I
But
remember like,
don't stop here. When you clear your third eye, then clear your crown.
Okay.
Just clear it.
just goes in spurts. Like,
Mhm.
where just all of a sudden it's just like
this that like it was like when I just had the weirdest sensation here, like not pain, just like almost like a pressure or like a like.
Everybody's eye opens different.
Yeah.
It is.
It wasn't. It was not.
I was actually just thinking that. I was like, you're very like skeptical. So I was gonna ask, like,
Mhm,
what
mhm.
are you interested
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
kind of, like?
You're very like that, your cards weren't wrong. You were
I feel
thinking
like
they're
you're
wrong.
very
They're
No,
not
I
wrong.
know,
Yeah.
she was like, she had her card, and she's like, no, that's not true,
Mhm.
but like,
Yeah.
that, not every single one. That's
Uh-huh.
crazy,
I don't.
for
believe me.
everyone here.
But you can mentally leave, you can emotionally leave. There's a
Yeah,
whole
you
lot
don't
of
always
leaving
have
to
to
do.
physically-
You can
You can
doubt
say,
them.
I'm going to do this.
Well, yeah.
and then
No,
you
because
don't-
you leave before you even get into it. You literally emotionally like back out before you even get into the thing.
So, well, there are things that happened to us when we were very young, between like 0 and 4, that we're not, like, we don't even remember. Because I can remember back to age 4, but not before that, right? So there are things that happen to us, like there's an initial event. And then there are other little events that happen after that that reinforce that belief. And so there could have been something from a very young age. And then other little things that reinforce, you know,
the
that
belief
that
that
belief
everyone was gonna leave.
that yeah. So not to put you on the spot, but you know, like maybe meditate on that, or take some time to kind of like look within, and you know, and it's not judgment. I mean, like,
No, there's
Yeah.
no judgment in here. No judge to be wrote. Not you don't even get to wear your own. Okay?
I think the thing is to like you have to get to that point where you want to open up. And like I have started by coming here and
Yeah.
like hearing that I'm like it's solidifying what I believe being here is that like I'm opening myself up again, realizing that I've been so closed off for so long that I can't accept what is right in front of my face, literally like slapping me in the face
So true.
all the time.
So
Like
true.
this was just another solidification that like I am doing what I feel I'm supposed to do, but I am my own I'm my own worst enemy.
Yep.
I'm not my own cheerleader. Like just what it is. And that's a big thing. And I think all of us too, especially doing this whole thing that we're doing with like you know, these guys and like
Yeah.
like we want to find love. We don't need it.
Yeah.
But
We want to find companionship.
we want the companionship. We don't need it, but we want it. And being able to open ourselves up that way too, it will open us up for
But
so many
to
other
know
things.
who you are
Are-
first, and not to be a chameleon to fit that other
Right.
person.
Exactly.
That's what I think is most important. Like before you get into like a serious relationship, you have to,
Know
especially
who
like
you
me
are.
as a young age, from a young age, like I want to really like find myself before I put everything else onto another person.
Yep.
Because you don't want to become like codependent.
And you've like in the trauma, like you've gone through trauma of a divorce. We've gone through trauma of a divorce
Yeah.
or two,
Yeah.
or engagements. And like and they said like 2 other engagements that never went through, 4 altogether. Like yeah, and it is okay. You know what? It's okay. I'll tell
I'm
anybody
happy
my
with
story.
mine.
I'll tell
have
anybody
mine.
my story, and I will wear it like a badge of honor. Because I knew it wasn't right. I stayed too long.
Sometimes there's bumps in the road. You have to go through those hard times to get where
Absolutely.
and
But
go
I'm
through the
just-
hard work too.
But I'm just now where you are now. Like I'm just now seeing the silence, figuring who I am.
That's what
That's
I'm
what I in that silence for 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even date. I mean, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was, because my feeling is that you have to be happy alone and you have to find your own happiness before you can make somebody else happy or accept happiness from somebody else.
Yeah.
So
Jesus can't date you.
And if you're skeptical, you can use that.
Yeah, he's gonna mess up.
He is just a man.
Why
after
are
all.
you curling your hair? Huh? Sure. I'm going over to say yes, these. Oh yeah, is that what you're calling that?
That's why you have to keep your
Uh-huh.
standard.
I can hear him now, Dad.
Not just yet, not just yet, not just yet, no.
Nobody can live on it, so it's totally impossible. And that's what you're asking when you ask a man to come in and save your life. Because even if he has the greatest intention, he ain't Jesus. He don't have all
Well,
those
no
little
man's gonna
tricks.
save
But a lot of people, you have
We
no
were
idea.
spoon fed that. Yeah.
If
all
I, if
the
I didn't get married, I'd
generations.
be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, at one point,
yeah.
some people were like others.
Absolutely.
You know, somebody who I met, I was
Yeah, and you
You know,
stand by your man, no
I just
matter
felt like
what.
something
Like,
like
no
that, the
matter
actual
what, how
progression.
much you cheated, all that
Mm.
stuff, you stood by your man. Now you're being raised with generations like, no, you deserve better than that. Like,
Yeah.
everything changed. Yeah, everything changed, or maybe it always was, but I've changed, like, and I've outgrown this. And now, like, if this person isn't growing with me, so now it's time for me to move on.
Stand behind your man so you don't get hit by the sniper. I'm right behind you, ladies.
I got your back,
Yeah,
baby.
I got your back. What you right here? Stand up straight.
still to your left.
I mean, we are always grateful for you guys. Okay, that's fine. We're grateful for you guys.
Because you
Be
wouldn't
here.
be here.
Your soul on that. I don't know if it was somebody ago that told me, sometimes you're just not meant. This, I'm gonna totally paraphrase now. This wasn't your forever person, but the soul was brought. The soul was meant to be here. Like you could not.
Soul
I
mates.
felt, I've seen, so many couples come together, and have these amazing children, but you're like, how did these two people ever? Like, get
That's
to- like,
me and my.
and
came
and
to
I
have those
firmly
children.
believe that that was the reason that they came together.
Souls
Was
are
so
surely
there's
meant to be
something
here.
there's something about those kids.
Yep.
Whatever it is.
They
Yeah.
are meant to be
Yeah.
here.
They're pretty.
I honestly,
know.
I didn't think I could have kids.
Hmm?
I wasn't supposed to deal with kids.
And like, it wasn't medically, it was just like something internally had always just told me that like, you're probably, like, you might have kids, but you might not. And I was just like, well, at that point in time, I was 36 when I got pregnant for my son, and I was like, I'm not gonna have any kids. And then we broke up, and 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant. And I'm like,
I
Yeah,
medically
it was
was
like
not
me-
supposed to do it. Like I was told, 2 to 3 doctors I was not supposed to like kids, and not like Danielle the both because all hope focus. Ryan was conceived, you and Danielle in 2 separate rooms when you're at the old location. Told me November 2nd, November 1st, nothing's happening. November 2nd at 2:30 in the morning, because I know the bars was closing because they called his father, who wasn't his father anymore, even though we were engaged. Ryan was born at 1:20 on November 2nd. So, and he is. He's such a great guy. I don't know how-
Soulmates can be permanent, but soulmates can also be the thing that God uses as a catalyst. I counsel so many women with sons that from divorce who comes from hateful experience, and I listen to them and I look at the sadness on their son's face because they're destroying their sons because they hate their father so much. And so I told God like an idiot that I gave him full permission to do whatever he needed to do to keep, if he saw the fangs coming out and the venom dripping, he could do whatever he needed to do to pull me back. I did not want to ruin my son. And he did. He sent me a soulmate. And I think I had the most wonderful 3 years with him. But he will to this day said, no, it wasn't even 1 year. But for no, I would not move to Ohio with him. And I would not let him move to Traverse City with me. I was raising 2 sons and I was not going to move in with somebody. And I was working 2 jobs and going to school, so I didn't have to keep working 2 jobs. So, but it was the most wonderful 3 years that I'd ever had. And when I did my cards the night he was coming up, he was a soldier. I worked out at Camp Grillin. He was coming up for the weekend. They said we were breaking up. And there was another girl, and I felt really sad. But here, now this is the funny part. The last card I didn't understand. The last card that I pulled was the full moon. So I didn't understand how that could fit into the story. Well, the full moon is the moon is, it can be deception and not knowing. It can be, that's what the book says. The full moon, things are not clear. When the moon becomes full, then you can see because the light becomes brighter. So it was going to make something clear to me. Well, he's going to another woman. How much more clear could that be? So anyway, so we're sitting in my car and we're talking, and he tells me he's met somebody, and and he throws the kicker in, and my mom really likes her. My mom really hated me. My mom really likes her, and I thought that was her, but I looked at him, and all of a sudden, I mean, I thought of how happy I've been with him and everything, and you think that would make you cry, but I just got the biggest smile. I said, "Oh, that's good. I want you to be happy. I want you always to be happy, and if you two are meant for each other, and that the two of you are meant for, there's no way for me to stand in the way." And he actually started crying. He said, "You're so good. You are so wonderful." And he said, "I hate that this didn't work out." He said, "You're so sweet to me. You're always good at," and outside that witchy stuff, because I feel him feeling bad, I call him and ask him what was wrong. He'd say, "Stop doing that witchy stuff." He said, "You see, I love you and I love her, but if we made love tonight, I wouldn't feel guilty." I said, "Well, let me help you with that." And I looked up and the full moon was right behind his head, "Because you're getting out of my car." Hey, you're not gonna have a thing to feel guilty. And I just started laughing because there was a full moon. See, the tarot can be so facetious. It can be so fun. It just lightened up the whole thing. There was no drag. Our time was done. A soulmate can be a soulmate for a time. It can be for a reason. It doesn't always mean that you're going to be committed to each other, but your souls know each other. So in that part, at that sense, it made everything okay because we had done what we needed to do. For the first time in my life, for a woman who'd been married twice, I had a boyfriend. This was my first boyfriend because I married both my husbands when I met them. This is my first boyfriend.
Happy, I think really pro life.
After him, I had 2 fiancés.
Yes. I knew it.
No, it was just, everything was, there was no guilt, there was nothing to look bad about. It was what it needed to be. So to taking love when it comes to taking it without any saying of how it's going to be, but just being in it and allowing it to grow the way it needs to be. That's a hard thing because as humans, we're taught we got to make it this, we got to do that. You cannot make love. You cannot think about being loved. You cannot think you love him. You cannot think he loves you. It has to be felt. And if you're thinking, you're not feeling, and therefore the relationship is doomed from the start. So if you're going to do it, then you do it with everything that's in you. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But you left no corner unturned. You did it with everything. You said, okay, he's worth trying. And if you said that, then you've got to do it with everything in you. You got to kiss him like you've never kissed anybody else before. You've got to listen to him like no one's ever liked before. But you have to be in this moment, in this time.
It's hard for me though. Very hard.
But isn't it hard to do with self-reflection? You love yourself.
Oh, I love myself too much sometimes. The guy really has a hard time.
I know, but that's the thing though,
Yeah.
like, you can't love, like, it's
Well,
hard to love beyond yourself.
I only have to tell. If he agreed to play in my stable, then there's one horse and one jockey. He puts another jockey in that saddle, he better trot his butt out of my stable before I find out about it.
Yeah.
And number two is really the non-negotiable. I might even think about the second one if the other jockey's, nice.
Right, yeah.
But we ain't sharing a bathroom. I will never share another bathroom with the male again. I don't care how much money you got. We better have 2 bathrooms. Do not leave my seat up. Do not talk in my sink. I will.
Oh, leave your face on my
Yeah.
sink. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Toothpaste all over.
That's it. We will not share a bathroom.
Or, like your hands
Like,
all over the
I
mirror.
swear you brush
Yeah,
your
my
teeth
ex.
like this.
Did you brush your teeth or did you brush the mirror? Did you get any toothpaste in your mouth?
I can just wash my, or
yeah.
clean my whole
No,
bathroom and
my
my ex
bathroom
comes
is my
to my
sanctuary.
house. I'll
Yeah,
go in
I-
there and there will be him doing this. I'm like, he doesn't, I'm like, there's 3
Do you even
towels.
want- Everything would be
Yeah.
stopped up when I looked at it going in there. It would all back up. Nothing would want to come out. That's it.
Yeah, no, sharing it with a toddler, bad enough.
And knowing yourself, then you get to understand when you're having fear, because fear comes in 2 different phases. Do you fear him because you think it's too good to be true, or do you fear him because the last time I ignored that sign, whoa, I had 6 years of misery. You have to know what fear you're feeling. And that's when I do the heart. And I put my hand on my heart. And I say, I can't ever see him again. And if my heart goes cold, then I know that I'm not ready to let him go. But if my heart warms up, that means I'm not really that committed to love. I'm committed to real love. I don't want to play the games. That's me right now. But if your heart gets cold, then he's not the man for you. He's not. And I've never known that.
Feeling that.
That's still burning right
Honestly, it wasn't wise enough to snuff it out before. I'm pretty sure it was in the container. It's fine. The house would have burned down by now. There was only this much. Yeah, I forgot.
Michael, I've sent Michael to look over candles when I've done
Okay.
stuff in.
I'm gonna have to rely on him a little bit more. Like, I'm gonna be like in my corner. Yes, I do. Remember, like, yeah. Oh God, I know. I
Guys,
always
watch
do.
the
I have my
house.
little altar with my candle and my.
You would have gotten the call.
I would have gotten the call. Yeah, the roofers are there. The roofers are there. They're fine. I would have gotten.
You tell us where you put your marshmallows?
The hell of a fire that you. The insurance up to date. You're fine. But yeah, with oh my gosh, and that Rainbow Bridge. Right. Like
I
I've
mean,
seen-
doing the
Yes,
Rainbow
no,
Bridge.
but because Braylon
We
and I were
can't
having issues,
always
and
always
it's gotten a lot
go
better.
face to face to people and tell them what we need because they won't listen. My ex-husband is Irish and Sicilian. So there are certain things that if I said to him, then it meant my hormones weren't working. I evidently had some really wise hormones. So, but the Rainbow Bridge, you simply sit down and be quiet until you just relax. And you start with the rainbow, whatever color. You don't have to program it, whichever color comes first. You're going to send that color out of your heart and you're going to connect it to the person that you're angry with, having trouble with. This works with family, this works with coworkers, this works with everybody, because you're going to be talking soul to soul, not person to person. You send out the colors until you've gotten the whole rainbow bit. And then your soul is going to go out to the middle and your soul is going to come meet you on the middle. And you're going to say everything you need to say. This will work wonders for you. It will take a lot of pressure off of you. And also, you damn may not realize why it is he's not feeling so pressured sometimes. But you're going to send that bridge and your souls will meet in the middle and you're going to talk until you've said everything you have to say. And then your souls will hug and you will go back to your side and you will pull the bridges back into your heart. My grandmother taught me that when I was 7, when I was fighting with my cousin all the time, and my face was always full of scratches because her nails were always longer than mine. And that's the first thing she go for is your face.
Really, my best friend.
It just
Totally changed the dynamic.
it does.
She doesn't even know.
It shifts the energy.
Yeah.
Does it need to? You're not doing hocus pocus. Your souls are talking to each other. The parts of you that have no agendas, no part with, am I doing this wrong? Am I being a bad mother? Oh, am I just letting her do what she wants with me? I should exert myself. None of that is said, on the soul, because your souls are talking. And your souls don't have foibles. They don't have security issues. So it's all about the love. It does. It takes a lot of pressure. We as human beings, we get frustrated. He's never going to listen to her. And the more we get frustrated, the more we act out things that maybe not for our own good, for our good. Then we can't do nothing like making us frustrated and pushing us in the corner. But when you do that bridge, suddenly you hear things you never heard. Maybe when you hear your dad talking, suddenly all of a sudden you freak out because you actually hear the worry in his voice. It is a very good. So much for coming and meeting early.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Yeah,
It was, and I really enjoyed it because I I do believe that the tarot, I know people see stuff on TV and they expect, well, you're a fortune teller. I go, no, you're a fortune, so you can tell my fortune. No, but what, can you tell my fortune? Yes, an angry black woman is going to slap you. Not a fortune teller. My cards were given to me. My grandmother had these that she never did tell me where she got them because my grandmother didn't do the cards. My grandmother and my mother don't talk to dead people the way I'm talking to you. I didn't do that. Well, I did, but I stopped before. She said, Kitty, God is always listening. There is nothing you can ask, and all of us can call home at the same time, but God is always listening. And He will answer you in any shape or form that will make you happy. He will always answer. So since every human being, no matter what they say, have faith, you have to decide what you have faith with. You either have faith and nothing's going to work, or you have faith that whatever is happening is going to work out for the best. And in 66 years, my grandmother's never been proven wrong. Sometimes you get the very best presents in the crappiest season. But what do you do at Christmas? You take the paper off and you burn it in the fire. Play with your GI.
Nowadays, the iPad.
I know.
So you just light your money on
Instead of
fire.
instead of just freaking out, you gotta look at if God is not a jackass and He doesn't send this person and thing into your life, why? What do I do? And then you never have to visit that scenario again.
Oh, I don't know. How do I figure out, okay, so I
I'm
was
sorry,
born-
there's only
I
3
know.
customer and you
I
have
know.
way
I know. Okay, so my birthday is 11/15. I always see 11/16. I don't even look for it. And then
1116.
okay, yes, 1116. And then this is just this last week. And like people say, I see 11/11. 1/11 and 11/11. I have pictures on my phone.
Mhm.
And then I was looking up 11/11 and it's
Because they
11/11.
heard you and they
And it's
said,
like-
"Oh, well, let's see what she has to say.
Yeah.
We're just bumped.
I was like, holy shit, that's what I had to say. Like, but what, okay, because how do I figure out, I hate asking this,
First
you
of
get
all-
paid for this, and I hate asking.
It's okay, I'm paying the bill.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll be mailing you. So the double numbers, 11/11. 11/11, when you see 11/11, that means be very careful. If you see 11/11 and you're thinking the worst shit, you need to stop right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Stop on a
Good
dime.
thing that I'm
Yeah.
not thinking that.
So if you're thinking of an idea, but you're not thinking that it's correct for you to do, and you keep saying 11/11, for you to do.
Okay, I was making salmon.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're making salmon.
You're supposed to be making that salmon.
You will make the salmon make you happy. So what 11/11 was showing you at that time, that really, like your decision that you're not taking anything into your life is not making you
Was
happy.
there anything else that was on your mind though?
Well,
Besides the salmon.
I was
What-
making a salmon recipe.
Okay.
And so you wanted that salmon, but you wanted the salmon that you wanted. So basically they were saying any choice in your life right now should be based on what you want in your life, not what
Okay.
you're afraid of.
Okay. All right. I'm very open to all the salmon recipes.
If it's not smoked, I'm not eating it.
I will eat almost any other fish but salmon.
Oh, the way I make it. I go for it.
That's what people keep telling me about venison since I moved up here and I ain't eating Bambi either. I don't care. They give it to me in every form and it still tastes horrible.
I'm telling you, I don't like it. I've grown up with it my entire life. I have a hard time. Like I don't even necessarily like the fruit. And even though it doesn't taste like it's just that mental.
Yeah, I'm not eating Bambi.
We throw a 6 in there. What is it?
So
11,
you do the 3-1, so that would be 1-1-1. And 1-1-1 means when you see 1-1-1, whatever idea you've been trying to bring about. When I say idea, if you were trying to start a business or if you were thinking about doing something with somebody, then it's saying 1-1-1 is good. And then with the 6, because 6 is stability, you're going to it's a winner.
I
So
was a winner
then
from the first.
You
from
got
the get-go.
1-1-1-6, and that's 9. And 9 means you're almost at completion. 9 is the epitome. It's the wish card.
Okay.
What do you wish for right
I don't know. I feel like I'm in it. Like just
So
community.
then just enjoy it,
Yeah, okay,
enjoy it.
awesome. Okay.
But I
I
look
know.
up, I look up angel numbers all the time. When people's totals
Mhm.
are,
Especially-
Oh, you did it with
yeah,
Tori or Sarah or one
yeah.
of them,
And
yeah.
I just go to Google boop, and because there's, I believe there's a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, that's interesting. And other people are like, oh my God, that is so exactly what I'm going through right now. So the thing, I just go to, there's one website that I really like and I really trust, you know what I mean, for numerology. But there's, like she said, like there's just these basic combos, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anytime I'm silly enough to worry about money, 222 shows up every time. And if it doesn't show up, then I shouldn't be spending that money. Because 222 means that you have what you need and you have what you want. As far as money is concerned, it literally is about money. If you were asking if you're going to get it, 222 is saying, don't worry about it, it's going to be there.
That's actually what I see quite often. Like right when I'm getting to that point where I'm like gonna start stressing out about it, like then I like if 222 pops up and I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
I'm okay, the landlord's getting paid.
If the landlord doesn't get paid, I don't get a big, so that's cool.
So before we depart, is there anything that still is on our mind that we want to address? 'Cause I have addressed this week, other than cheerleader.
Slap us when we walk in the door. Did you do it this week? Did you do it?
Don't make me call mama out.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. I mean, I can come up with something. So Miss Kathy
No,
is
it'll
gonna,
be you and Rhoda.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Miss Kathy and Rodas is gonna alternate. Yeah, so if there's nothing on your mind, but this would be a great time to be like, oh, yes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right.
Are we still
I'm like,
thinking about putting the classic more? like,
oh,
less
okay,
together?
so, okay, so the neurotic Capricorn, I'm sure my cards would be like, do you stress out much, Mary, when you're putting things together? Because yes, I've been spending a lot of time since last time we were here. Because I said I would do this, I said I would put a class together, and we're not gonna do it until fall, because I need time to. And whenever I do anything, it's this big,
She dots her
Okay.
eyes and crosses her.
just so
T's.
you're aware.
Okay.
So this is not gonna be like, take the classes and, put your, you know, it's going to be very, very, like she said, very detailed. Well, that's, I mean, not like, it's gonna be
You're not gonna
fun
go to
too.
sleep.
It's gonna be fun too, but
Yeah.
you're gonna, there's gonna be.
Make sure you have a platform. So we want to make sure you have a platform.
Yes,
When
no, I
you-
love
so
it.
it's
No,
gonna
that's-
be,
okay.
it's gonna be a super solid foundation, and
Yeah.
by the end of it, you will either know, yes, this is for me, or,
Love it.
you know.
Yeah, first know that all your
Yeah.
preparation and thinking you're organizing, you're stressing out and you're worrying is very,
Very excited, yes, and very appreciated.
yes, 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 yes. It's highly anticipated. And not to put the pressure on either.
I think this is something that
I
like,
put pressure on my, I do that. You don't
You're a
have to.
Capricorn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yours should be-
It has to be perfect, you know?
I think that that's like perfect, because I like more of that. I like to build, I want to build the foundation. Like, coming into something, not knowing anything, like,
Yeah, yeah.
and getting thrown into stuff, I'm not, I mean, I used to do that when I was a server and bartender all the time. They throw me into the weeds, and I can handle it, but I like the foundation.
Yeah, just because
more.
you can handle it doesn't mean you
You
want to do it.
right, no, and I think that like little things throughout my life have been telling me to go this path. And Ellen is actually one of the people that started it with me when she was like, I can't believe, because I was always calling her to ask her things. So I was always like, you need to make this guy go away from me. So she would always do things for me. She's like, I don't understand why you don't just do this yourself. Learn yourself. It's in you. So like, I appreciate it. I'm excited. I'm gonna open that up, start kicking
Yeah,
myself
you're
in the butt.
I have to bow. My
Okay.
kids are calling me.
right.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you. Actually,
And then-
sorry. I don't-
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Just stop the recording.
Oh,
Well, okay, yeah. And then, yep, so we're, I mean,
Now
if you
can
want to
say
keep
whatever
chatting.
I want.
I got.
okay.
So,